Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Dawes County Board of Commissioners work session. Today is Thursday, February 17th, 2022. Appreciate those of you that are in attendance with us, as well as those that are with us online. We'll get right into the new business. First up, we have presentation of request to accept a Georgia Forestry Commission Volunteer Fire Assistance 50/50 grant. Mr. Dooley, you're going to do that one, I believe.
Chief Thompson for a little bit. Thank you, Commissioner Board. Come to you tonight requesting that you accept the Forestry Commission 50/50 grant. We've been approved for the grant and we have the matching funds in budget to cover the match.
So that's a $10,000 grant. So
Correct.
it's 5 and 5, correct?
That's correct.
And that's something we've done every year for a long time.
Yes, sir. And we're also requesting that you move it forward to tonight's voting session as it's time sensitive now.
Okay, yeah, that's normal for the state.
It said the grant period closed on December 1, 2022. Is that the right date? It said
Yeah.
closed. It's past tense. The grant period closed.
Probably
And
with,
I didn't know if it's December 1, 2021. I don't know. I just,
Yeah, I know that the application period for this current grant has already closed.
okay,
But we
that
got
just
the
must be a
application in on
typo.
time. Yeah, it's probably a typo.
Yeah.
they got to spend it by April 1st.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the reason we need to move it forward
Yep.
tonight.
Okay.
Any other questions for Chief Tom? I mean, Chief Dooley. He's taking his place anyway. Any other questions for Chief Dooley?
No,
Y'all good with moving it forward?
I am.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have presentation of FY 2023 Council of Accountability Court Judges Criminal Justice Coordinating Council Enhancement Grant for Dawes County Treatment Court, Treatment Services Director, Jesse Emmett. Jesse.
Good afternoon. All right, so I am here again asking for approval to apply for our FY 23 grants that support Dawson County Treatment Court and our Family Treatment Court. I did want to just take the opportunity to thank y'all for your continuous support. We're going into year 16 of our programs. Last year was our 15th anniversary. So year 16 of
Wow.
grants. And just a quick stat for you, in 2021, we graduated 31 participants. Our folks, when you count up all the community service that they did, we had a cost savings to Dawson County in particular of $34,000. Served a total of 125 participants. And had a retention rate of 93%, which is one of the highest for retention rates we've had for our programs in several years. So we'll just apply for those two grants. The only difference in the grant for treatment court this year and years past is we are asking for a third counselor position in that grant. We are hoping to move all of the treatment for family treatment court, mental health court, drug court, and DUI court all under one roof and in-house. Whereas in years past, we've been asking for grant funds to kind of farm that out to private providers. So we're asking to bring that in-house this year.
Any questions for Ms. Emmett?
Okay.
All right, good
Thank
job.
you.
And she kind of touched on, she has the next one too, which is the family court, which is basically the same thing. It's just a different grant that allows her office to do the things they need to do in court,
Yes,
treatment
sir.
court. So any questions on that one? All right, thank you, man.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next up, we have presentation request to approve professional exemption for LMC Inc. DBA McCormick Solutions Chief Appraiser Elaine Garrett, that's not Elaine, but, all right, come on up here.
Elaine did ask me to apologize for her. Emma, her daughter up at college, was not feeling well, so she had to run up there and get her. But we do thank y'all, board, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to us on this request.
Mhm.
The request that the assessor's office is making is for the McCormick Group, who is already under contract through our office, we've had an employee that has left, he went to another job, and we're asking for the McCormick Group to come in and to pick up some of the responsibility that has been left by that appraiser being gone. The reason that we're bringing this to the board, but like I said, they're already under contract with us since 2019. But anything in the contract says anything over $3,000 over the existing contract with them needs to go in front of the commissioner. So what we're asking is for the McCormick Group to come in and to take the permits essentially from us, handle those, and that will give our field appraisers more time to do the evaluation of the existing buildings and land and property. Any
Questions?
Money in the budget for that person don't pay
The money, excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off, yourself. The money that is in the budget that has been budgeted to the, I guess, former employee now
Mhm.
is more so than what we're asking for the contract for the McCormick Group. Yes, sir.
How long had that person been in that position?
About 3 years in total. He had been through the training, and that's a lot of what we're looking at. It's not only what you see in the budget that we have to budget just in salary and benefits, but he had been through training, and we just feel like this would be a better move really for the county in several different ways, financially and for the workload as well.
And then people are still having problems filling positions. And you can advertise, but you may not get anybody.
And the quality. could be-
Well, and then you go back into the training cost,
Yes, ma'am.
and we know how expensive that is. And that's what kind of sold me on this. And you're pleased with the work that McCormick has done?
I feel like they have went above and beyond their current contract with us. And it's really worked in our favor because a lot of questions that have came up, there's always questions, obviously.
Yes.
We've been able to contact them and get, like I said, above and beyond what we were expecting in this contract, but the quality of work has been excellent. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, will this be for residential, or what is this for?
What this is going to be
Residential, commercial?
is the permits that are new, the new construction, whether it be a new house, a new addition to a home, swimming pool, the biggest Walmart super center you might build, they would take all that field work and do all the new permits for us. So all the new construction, whether it be a house or whether you permit a dog house, they would come and check all those permits for us. County, city, commercial, residential. anything like that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It just seems like it's gonna be cost saving. And you know, the hassle of people quitting and, trying to get somebody, and then you get them in there and most people can't hit the ground running.
Oh, no, ma'am.
And
Not-
then
no.
you go to training and
Yes,
you still not got the experience. I mean, and I know everybody has this kind of problem, but
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Other questions? And you need this move forward, I understand.
I would like to have, if it suits the board, I'd love to have a vote tonight if that's possible.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Y'all good with that?
I'm good with it.
All right,
Thank you. Mr.
thank you. And Miss Jessie, I didn't ask you, but you needed your both move forward as well, correct? Okay, thank you. Y'all good with that?
No, not her.
All
Just kidding. Yeah,
right. We don't want to miss out on no grant.
no.
That's for sure. All right, so moving on to number 5, presentation request for additional 2021 funds for Keep Dawson County Beautiful. Executive Director Kara Wilkins. Kara.
Hi, good afternoon. So last year, we went over budget by $206.39. And I'm just asking for that to cover 2021's budget.
Okay.
Okay. Have any questions?
Questions for Ms. Kara?
Could you, I'm good with this, but did you see this coming? Or did I was,
I did not.
Okay.
We did have to add some extra events. Well, we wanted to add some extra events. Entire Amnesty actually went up in price. And so that cost us an extra almost $1,000.
oh,
So it could have been prevented, but you know, and I've never went over on budget before, so I've never had to do this before. But, so yes.
And then shore sweep. Of
Short
course, I'm
sweep,
all for that,
yes,
but you said it had doubled and then you had to
Yes.
get more supplies. So
yes. For Earth Day this last year, we had to do all our supplies. And then Shore Sweep, they asked us to, instead of 200 to cook for and do all for 200 people, they asked us to do for about 400.
Oh.
And then we didn't have that great of a turnout. But
And you bought all.
we
the
did buy all
stuff.
that.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Other questions? You need to move forward too, so they can finalize that
Yes, please. Thank you.
as well. And I would ask the board too, when they look at this, when we vote to allow the county manager to take care of this, it's a simple thing that
Mhm.
we have lots of money, especially in the years where we're going to have fund balance reserve,
Mhm.
that you also give him the power to take care of these small things where they wouldn't have to come to the board and it could already be done.
I'm good with that.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
We appreciate what y'all do.
Yep, good job.
We really do.
All right, next up, presentation of budget increase request for de-icing salt product, Public Works Director Denise Farr. Denise.
Good afternoon. Public Works is here to also request an increase in budget for the de-icing salt.
It's
You're
a
looking at-
little bit more.
Look,
You're
yes,
looking at
ma'am.
this year though.
We're looking at this year. Yes, ma'am, it
Yeah.
is a little bit more. Our January event, we distributed 175 tons of salt. We used 3 spreader trucks to do this, 14 crew members with a little bit over 14 hours to do that. Covered a little over 113 miles of roads, which equate to 113 miles of roads, which equates to 51 different roads during that storm event. The county used a very low density salt. It's a brown salt. It's kind of consistent to that of sand. We did have some larger pebbles in it, but the majority of it is sandy. When the crews went out to start distributing the salt, they noticed that it just wasn't going to work. It blew off the roads very quickly. The salt that remained on the roads melted very quickly. So they returned to Public Works and they mixed it with an older product that we had bought a few years ago. It was a white and blue salt. The blue salt, of course, has been treated. They mixed 125 tons of brown salt with 50 tons of the mixture that we'd had in previous years. And that's how we got the roads covered in salt. Now, in the past storm events with the, you can see the blue and white salt there, we used approximately 75 tons of that mixed product. So there's a little bit of difference in the lower density salt. We have 20 tons of that remaining mixture on site. Unfortunately, our contract in 2020 did not specify a density of salt, nor did it give an option for the treatment of salt, the treated salt. So the density that we're getting is pretty low, and we're paying $142.98 per ton. If we have an estimated 2-day storm event, this last one was like a 36-hour event. If it goes to a 48-hour, we estimate that we'd need 250 tons of that low density salt, and that would equate to $35,745. The improved salt products that I've been talking to some of the providers on, it's an estimated cost of $267 a ton. It's quite expensive, but it does a better job. For a 2-day storm event, we're estimating only 75 tons are needed for that. That equates to a little over $20,000. And the treated salt, and just in case you're interested, it's treated with calcium chloride. And it helps it to melt quicker and it lasts longer, so we don't have to retreat the roads.
Okay.
Budget information, today, our 2022 budget is $3,500. Our 2021 budget was $3,500. So for the improved salt products, which, by the way, we don't have any more of our 2021 product. We purchased all that last year. But the improved salt product, as I said before, is going to be $267 a ton. We're requesting 90 tons. That would equate to $24,030. That would increase our 2022 budget by $20,530. So Public Works is requesting that the board consider increasing our salt budget to $20,530 and allowing us to purchase the 90 tons of salt.
Questions?
So, I know we're not set up to do the liquid, but what's the difference?
The liquid,
Do we
I
know
think,
the cost of it?
I do not, but it's more for a brining. It's a salt and water, so you're actually putting salt water on there. And that's a pre-treatment more than a treatment. So they do that to begin with. Usually GDOT does, especially over their bridges, and then they come back and salt.
They were doing it pretty early. I know they did
Yes,
before that last event, they were before then.
yes.
Anybody ain't freezing yet. So I didn't know if that lasts or is it,
I think it, from my understanding, they do that first and then they come back over and put the salt on it. And why they do that, I don't know if it's because they have treated salt products. I have no idea, but they do both. They
because it
do.
looked like it was dried up before and the cars had already ran over all of it for 6 hours. It was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know the treated salt works because that's what we mixed with it and it's what we've used in the past.
Now the calcium chloride, what do we put on the dirt road? We put calcium on dirt roads sometimes?
Yes, that's to
Is
keep,
it some of the same product?
it's not, it keeps the dust down,
Okay.
but it does have the calcium on it.
In the, how are we getting by with $3,500 in the budget?
I think they've been going over that every year and they're stockpiling and they didn't use any last year.
Oh,
So they've stockpiled and used a little bit of money from their asphalt and gravel, which by this year, I'm not gonna have any extra money.
right.
So we would only have the 20 tons.
Yeah.
We'd only have the 20 tons.
They moving it around.
Yeah.
Borrowing from the
Caught up with
last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're borrowing it from the
Yeah.
years before.
And
These
I do
others-
know, I didn't know, I think I talked to Dave about that when y'all put down some of that brown salt. I watched it. It just kind of,
It just blows
it
off.
just kind of blowed off and it didn't. What y'all finally put back down the last seemed like it worked, but I've seen some of the roads and it was already gone out of the travel lanes of just in a few minutes of when they put it down.
That's when they came back and mixed it with what we had stored from a
Yeah.
couple of years before. And that, of course, and it looked just like the picture that I showed you
Yeah.
with the brown and white and blue salts.
Any money spent on that to me is just a waste. I mean, it didn't do anything, did it?
No, ma'am, it didn't work. Well, it helped with what we had, but we could
Well,
not,
but by itself,
no, ma'am, we could not have used that by itself. Just would not
well,
have
why
worked.
in the world somebody makes such a substandard
I-
product?
I think they use a lot of that for brine. I think they mix it with water. And I think that maybe some of that was the tail end of another product that had already been crushed a little bit during delivery. So I don't think that there was as much larger pebbles in there that maybe should have been.
This is a lot. It gives me heartburn, but you know, we don't want something that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You know.
We
this-
need to be prepared for
Boy,
the next storm.
We sure do. We sure do. And sometimes, and it's hard for me to even do this in business or at home, but sometimes that initial cost really hurts. But in the long run, it's cheaper
It is.
if it will do the job and you use less of it.
Well, it's a COVID shock. I will say the costs are just exponentiated and I couldn't even get the older suppliers that we use in the
Yes.
Midwest and up north. They wouldn't even quote me salt to next July. I found one that would quote out of North Carolina,
Hmm.
but they won't even,
We'll Get some while we can.
Yeah.
yes,
Only going up.
And you need to move this forward as well, correct?
yes, sir.
All right, any more questions? Thank you. All right, next up, we have presentation of driveway permitting information, and Ms. Denise, you have that as well.
Yes, sir. Wait just a minute. Public Works was requested to provide a fee schedule for applications for driveway permits and also a fee schedule for the installation of driveway pipes. So presently, we start off with, the permitting process starts off a little bit of education. There are several residents, probably more than you may think, that think they own the property up to the asphalt. So they don't understand why they have to have a driveway permit and they don't understand what right of way is. So we start off with folks who come to the office or call us. And this is a diagram that we provide to them to kind of explain what the right of way is and why you need a permit and why we're involved, just to be sure that what they do on our property is done to our specifications. So that's kind of how we start the process. The permits required now are for new construction and for secondary driveways. The county does not charge for these permits. We inspect the construction site, we determine the location of the driveway, check site distances and things. We determine the size and the material of the driveway pipe. The installation of the driveway pipe is the responsibility of the owner at the present time, but we still go out and we check that. And that's a requirement before they can obtain a CO. If we look at what we do internally and as we go out to site, the application review would include to ensure that we have all the relevant information, that our form is filled out correctly. That form is at our office as well as online. They're also having to provide a sketch or a plat to show us where that driveway is going to be located. We have to schedule a site visit with them. If they're not able to meet us, we ask them to state the location of where they'd like to place their driveway. We go out to site and we check that location. We look at the site distance again. We take some measurements. We come back to the office. We look at the topography online. We do a little bit of calculations for the flooding, and then we size the pipe and determine the material of the pipe. Then we get back with with the residents and inform them what type of pipe they have to have, how long it needs to be, what size it needs to be, and then we provide them with that permit completed. In this process, we think it would be a good idea to make a secondary visit 6 months after they apply to be sure that they have the correct pipe in, that it's in the right location, rather than to wait till the CO to give them that information if there's something wrong. But that still would be a secondary inspection. So if we add all that up, it comes to $250 an application for a driveway permit. The estimated installation costs, we looked at the materials that we usually use. The smallest we put in is a 15-inch HDPE pipe. It goes up to a 3-foot, 36-inch, and then we look at concrete anywhere from 24 to 36-inch. We can go larger, but that would depend on how deep we have to go for the driveway. So for this estimation, we estimated a 2-man crew for 4 hours. It will take a mini X and a dump truck and 10 tons of gravel. That is a 2-foot gravel filler over the pipe only. So that could be pretty shallow. Some folks, we're in the foothills of North Georgia mountains, so it could require more than just the 2-foot. But that's all this estimate includes. And I do want to say the mini X, we have 2 mini X's. One is used full-time at the transfer station, and the other one we use a very good bit on our paving. So we would have a little bit of a problem scheduling that. Our paving, we'd have to schedule when we weren't paving. So we may be detaining some of these driveways. So, but with that in mind, I provide the material costs, the labor for the machinery, deliver the gravel for one driveway. So the total estimated cost from a 15-inch plastic pipe down to the 36-inch concrete pipe can range from a little over $1,000 per driveway down to $2,400. This does not include any core permitting. We have a lot of driveways that go over creeks and rivers, and the core is very specific that they have to have a design from an engineering firm, and they have to have a core permit. So we would not provide that service, and that is not included in this estimate. And that is it. So any questions or comments?
Couple of comments.
Yes, sir.
So currently, we don't charge anything for a driveway permit,
No,
correct?
sir, we do not.
Even though it takes a good bit of time for our people to do the inspections and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm pretty good with that, charging a fee for the permit. My next question would be in reference to the installation. Are you finding when you go out after they hire whoever they hire to put the pipe in problems?
Yes, sir. We do. But
Can you expand on those?
we have everything from corrugated metal pipe, which on the application, it says no corrugated metal pipes. They put it in and tell us, oh, well, we had that in as a temporary for construction only. They're not even supposed to do it for that.
Mhm.
And then they concrete over it. And so they say, well, it's going to cost us an astronomical amount of money to rip up the concrete and to change the pipe. So we
Ask
do,
forgiveness
yes,
instead
it
of
is.
permission.
It is, but we're not very forgiving when it
No,
comes to that.
I don't like it either.
Especially in our MS4 area, we're not allowed to put corrugated metal pipe. So it does have to come out. So, and two, they changed their mind. They moved the driveway. They put in a circular driveway. They put in a driveway that won't drain properly. And so I think to mitigate those issues, if we went 6 months out to site after they asked for the permit, we could stop that, or the majority of it. Because the pipe would already be installed. They have to install it to get their construction materials on the site. So that would already be there. So if we put that secondary step in there and not wait to the CO, I think we could remedy all those problems.
So you're saying to go back out there before they get the CO for their house, obviously, if they're
Yes.
building. Should we go back before 6 months? I mean, because I guess some houses get done faster than
Might
that.
be if the building department notify you on like a rough inspection. Because if it's right before they get the CO, they've already poured the concrete.
Yes,
Because I know
Mhm.
the county manager wrote out, saw one that wasn't installed proper, and plus it was on somebody else's property.
yes, y'all just don't believe some of the stories. I mean, it's almost.
When he on his
comical.
property
Yeah. Yeah.
and the wrong type of pipe.
Yeah, I
And
think
the
that
wrong
might be a
size.
good idea if you could somehow tie it to after the rough end inspection. And then that way, if it did progress faster,
Yes.
you would be there earlier. But I do think it's a good idea to have that secondary
Mhm.
inspection, say, look, this is not right, let's get it fixed and go from there.
Because they're very emotional when it comes to their CO, and we get that warning from planning and zoning, because they go out there and inspect the
Mhm.
CO and they call us and we go out there too. So you can imagine they've already got the trucks ready to haul in, and they're tired of living with
Driveway
mom and
poured.
daddy, and they're
Yeah.
ready to move in. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? David, you got anything to add? Okay. So what would your recommendation be, Denise, that the county put them in?
No, sir, I'd rather not.
Rather not? Okay. Even though you're having all these issues, do you think you can, let me ask you this then,
I don't
and I would agree with you on that.
me too.
Do you think that the extra inspection, as the gentleman has spoke about, would help us curtail some of the problems you're running into?
I think it would.
Okay.
I'd like to try that first.
Okay, all right.
And that would, and the fee would help cover some of that man hour stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know, it might be something too that we could look in later on if somebody, not necessarily require it, but if somebody felt like they wasn't going to get the pipe in like they were supposed to, they could let us do it if we wanted to, but not make it a requirement. But I know y'all have more than y'all can do right
Yeah.
now anyway.
Mhm.
But I don't think I would want to see it as a requirement, because there are some people that can get them incorrect and it be
Oh,
done.
yes.
But then you just have to, you have some that just, it doesn't happen.
They
So,
never look at that permit.
yeah,
They just get the piece of paper and move on. And I think if they paid for it, maybe two, then that would encourage.
Read it a
them
little
Yeah.
bit better.
To read it a little bit.
Maybe we have to color coordinate it
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
where it stands out. Okay, other questions for Denise? Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have presentation of request to seek design and cost estimate for special needs field at Rock Creek Park. Matt Payne. Matt.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. It's wonderful to be back with you again today, finally with some good news. Seems like every time I come before you over the last little while, it's been something has gone wrong. This is actually some good news this time. As you'll remember, in SPLOST 7, our Dawson County voters did approve SPLOST 7 this last time. And in this SPLOST 7 was included a special needs, ADA compatible field that we could serve our citizens well with. So that was included in SPLOST 7. Now, in talking with Vicky and Melissa and Mr. Headley, we have looked at it and said, well, how can we push this forward? How can we go ahead and get this done? Because this is such a huge need and it is such a wonderful thing to have in our community. And Miss Vicky suggested that we take a look at our impact fees. So impact fees would cover this, as it is a brand new structure. It is a brand new project, and it falls definitely in the verbiage for the impact fees. So we would like to go ahead and start the process of building this field, and we could do it a whole lot quicker with those impact fees. So what I'm seeking today is not the money to do the fields. Obviously, that'll be another vote for another time. Today, I am seeking permission to use impact fees right now to seek a design and cost estimate for budgetary purposes. Go ahead and get a couple of companies to get us some quotes on this, so we can put together a good firm number, get it to you guys as quick as we can. And that way we can move forward with this project as soon as we can. That would do a couple of things. Obviously, that would push this project onto the forefront. We can really move on it quick. Number two, it can leave a little splosh money left over when it comes time to do some other projects later on in case we run into some problems. But this is impact fee eligible, and I would request that we go ahead and try to move forward on this.
Questions for Matt?
I mean, I've had a passion for this thing too, and I know Matt and his staff has done an excellent job with the program he's got. I've worked with some of these kids at the school in the past with these classes, and they deserve something like this.
Yes, it would be a lot of
It's,
fun.
I
It
mean,
would,
they
it
do
would,
activities at school, but they're not involved in activities in the spring, the
Right.
summer, and after school. And I think it's a huge need. And like I said, I applaud you and your staff for the program you built.
well, thank you.
And
Thank
that's,
you.
I
We
mean,
had,
not only young people, but young adults too. And
well,
they
we
need-
had
they need it also.
Epic Thursday today, which was karaoke Thursday. Matter of fact, it was quite a hoot.
I mean, they need it too. the
We
young
probably
adults.
had 70 folks today doing karaoke as hard as they could go. And it was just a great time.
And you started. with
That's
a
the kind of
handful.
stuff we can put on this multipurpose field for the spring and summer months when we can get them out there with no problems.
And where would it be? What
It's
room in-
according to what we get from this and the
Okay.
monies that we think that we would have allocated for it. I would love to put it on one of what's called our cloverleaf fields, which is there's two cloverleafs at Rock Creek Park. And if you know what a cloverleaf is, that's 4 fields. One is the T-ball fields
Mhm.
and one is we call it the cloverleaf, the 4 bigger fields. I want to put it on one of those. I had thought about doing it on the T-ball field, but I don't know that we could serve as many people as we could with doing one of the baseball fields.
Floor space.
Yeah.
And you can use it for other things.
Exactly.
Yeah, it can be used as a regular fee.
You can use it as a regular
Yeah.
field. And in a perfect world, and before I retire, I'd love to go all turf on everything. We could definitely be the
Mhm.
envy of all of North Georgia when we do that. But that's another
That'd be some of that
time.
money we've saved.
That might be, right.
It's flush.
So my request today is just to seek a design and a design and a cost estimate. And that way I can come back before you with a really hard number and we can really push this thing forward.
Just for South County, have one of these fields or
Yeah, but
a whole bunch of,
Cold Mountain has one, but they're actually putting a brand new one in at the new Lanier Park right now.
okay,
And that's the one I'm going to piggyback off of. It
okay.
is top of the line.
Yeah, so
it
it's
is-
being done and people to contact that's gonna wanna
Yes.
do this.
Yes. It'll be a lot of
And you
fun.
see the world difference. I mean, I travel a lot because I have a grandson that plays baseball everywhere.
Mhm.
And you see these all over the place and they're well used. And it's a great opportunity for our citizens who may not have that opportunity otherwise.
Mhm.
And so I applaud that this wound up in Splosh and got approved by the citizens, and the faster we can get it done, the faster they can use it.
Mhm.
Other questions for Matt? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa.
All right, next up, we have presentation of request to amend the Dawson County Sign Ordinance, Chapter 129. Planning and Development Director Sharon Farrell. Sharon.
Good evening. We have some changes in your packet. We're adding the findings to chapter 129, adding findings on the public health, safety and welfare, adding findings on the business interest rationales of sign regulations, aesthetic rationales. We added and modified some definitions. We added a new graphic for site visibility, performance standards for the LED signs, updated our list for signs that you do not need a permit for. We redrafted the temporary signage standards, temporary as in the type of construction, not time limit. Deleted the duplicative language for Georgia 400, updated our criteria, and then extended the time frame for permit review from 7 to 30 days and deleted repealer provisions.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
I read through this and obviously y'all have done a lot of good quality work here, looking through this and updating this and looking and proposing the 12 changes that you've got listed on this paper. And I think also council had sent something. You want to talk on that?
Yes, sir, if I may. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and I've spoken as well with our director about this. Our recommendation would be, now that we are announcing that we're working on these revisions, we do have to go through a public hearing process, which means we cannot adopt it tonight. There'll be a process when we are going through this change. And so my recommendation would be for us to consider adoption of a moratorium tonight so that we do not get applications in the midst of our progress on the changes to this ordinance. If it meets with your approval to consider that, then what I would propose is a simple moratorium resolution, which I have one here in front of me, and I apologize. I've been in my car running all day, so I'm not sure if this got emailed out to everybody or not. It's very simple. The actual resolution part of it just would provide the period of time of the moratorium and provide that the moratorium would terminate on the earliest of either, I'm assuming maybe 60 days is what Sharon and I and Kristen have talked about to get us through a public hearing process. So we would say the moratorium imposed by the resolution shall terminate on the earliest date of April 18, 2022, which is 60 days, if I counted correctly. Approval by the Dawson County Board of Commissioners of an additional moratorium or board action terminating the moratorium. And that would be effective upon voting on it tonight. And of course, the length of the moratorium is up to you. I've got blanks to fill in for that, but it was proposed to be 60 days so that we have time to run the ad, which requires a 50-day notice, and then get it to a public hearing. So that would be my recommendation to ensure that we don't get any applications in the midst of this that would thwart some of our efforts to make these positive changes in the ordinance. So if that meets with your approval, then we would put that portion on the voting session agenda. But then the amendments that Ms. Farrell has announced would then just go forward to a
Under
public
the
hearing.
process.
Mhm.
Y'all good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Move it.
All right.
And 60 days is long enough.
Yes, I think Cheryl and Kristen have counted up, and did I get the date right? April 18th, I think it's 60 days out. That's right. We'll confirm that.
It would be 2 months and a day from today. Basically. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sharon. Oh, did anybody else have any questions for Sharon?
Good job.
It was good reading. County manager report, David.
All right, thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. Good afternoon. The key indicator report for the month of January, as well as a list of agreements and contracts are in your packet for review. The Marshal's office now is fully staffed, consisting of the Marshal, 2 code enforcement officers, and a new administrative personnel. Matt, if you could introduce your new administrative assistant there to the board.
Come on up here.
They both gotta make a speech, don't they?
We didn't get one out of him last time.
You sure though?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Board. Again, Matt Haley, the County Marshal, and this is Miss Emily Chapman. She is our new administrative assistant. Miss Angela Byers, who is our administrative assistant, was promoted to the code enforcement position because of the awesome job that she has done. So we're now fully staffed, and we have been over the last week and a half wide open. So,
Kind of busy.
yes, sir. Chasing dirt the last couple of weeks.
There you go.
So,
Now it's mud.
Your name again is,
Emily Chapman.
I'm taking names.
She always does.
I
That's
always,
right.
yeah, it's
No
nothing
worries.
new. Just kidding.
Well, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. And we know you're going to do a good job. Matt's already running, I know.
Yes,
All right.
When did you start?
Monday.
Monday.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you are greenhorn, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am. I don't even have my badge yet.
Oh, you were the one trying to get from room to room. You
Yes,
didn't have-
ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
You'll see me doing that quite a bit, probably.
We'll get it taken care of.
Yeah, how long will it take to get one of these things?
Hopefully, we'll check on it tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put a rush job on it.
Yes,
She
ma'am.
got work to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Places to be.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.
Yes.
Thank you all. So I'm pleased to report that Dawson County has met the incentive standards outlined in the Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency Federal Local Disaster Match Policy. This means our county is able to continue to receive federal and state funds in the event of a disaster incident. Because Dawson County satisfied all the federal, state, local disaster match policy required criteria, the county qualifies to receive a reduced cost share for FEMA approved expenses. Due to our emergency management agency's commitment to excellence and the dedication of its director, Danny Thompson, Dawson County is one of the only few Georgia counties to receive this benefit. So congrats to Chief Thompson and his staff. The Bowen Center for the Arts will host a winter healthy aging expo from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, February the 22nd. Senior Services Director Dawn Johnson will be there representing Dawson County. There will be a demonstration, expert speakers, entertainment, and health screenings. The event is sponsored by Dawson County News and Northeast Georgia Health Systems. And as Matt alluded to a moment ago, the monthly EPIC program was hosted today at Rock Creek Park, and attendees had a blast singing karaoke. In addition, all 50 attendees received large stuffed bears from Family Connection. A mother of an attendee said this about today's event: "We had such a great time today. It's always so much fun to watch everyone have a good time. Thanks again for everything today. I can speak from experience that you guys make such a difference in the lives of people who come. There is so much power in connection and friendship. We look forward to the EPIC every month." So, and then the county offices are closed Monday, February the 21st for the President's Day holiday. Commissioner Satterfield's birthday also is on Monday. So I guess he's do a little singing.
Yeah, I might be going to the Bowen Center. What'd you say it was?
I know. It's too late for me.
We'll just call you a president for one day. How's that?
No.
No? Don't want to be yelled at that much. do we? Who's going to lead us?
There you go.
Just start.
Happy
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tim. Happy birthday to you.
Thank y'all.
Hey.
Made it another year. Good job.
That concludes my presentation.
All right, questions for the county manager?
I just want to say, and I told you this one day this week about the key indicator report.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm telling you, there's a lot of work that goes on. And I love those reports. And if you wonder what people are doing, you look at that. It's just amazing. And I love them. And I mean, I'm a nerd and I know I am, but I love to read all that because it just puts in the focus to me the amount of work that is being done. And they do it so well, they make it look easy. So I forget, I'll speak for myself, I forget. I mean, they're just going at it all the time. And we need to appreciate that. I appreciate it. I'll just say that. And keep the statistics coming. 'cause
There
I
you
like
go.
it.
Statistics are what you need.
Yes.
And I'll say, I was fortunate to work for the county and with a lot of these people for 37 years. And they do an excellent job and they are on the move
Yes.
all day long, every day. And so our citizens can be very proud of the staff, proud of David and his leadership that he provides to the staff. because they are getting it done.
Mhm.
Anybody got any questions for David? County Attorney report.
I'll just make a brief report. Since we had our last work session, an opportunity to comment, the county prevailed in a lawsuit, and without stating the name of the entity against whom the county was in this litigation, I just thought it was appropriate to commend. That's a big change in meaning. The fire department, it was a case in which the county was trying to uphold their fire codes to ensure safe structures and life and safety protection measures for our citizens. It was a hard fought dispute for many years and ultimately went through a full trial for 2 days in Superior Court. Our Fire Marshal Jeffrey Bailey was a lead witness, as was our Fire Chief Danny Thompson. And but for their dedication on those issues and their good testimony, I don't know that we would have been as successful as we were, but we did indeed prevail in that trial by winning on all points. And so I'm proud of their efforts and thankful for their hard work, and thankful it's a county that takes their codes so seriously in the protection of their citizens. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, and also want to thank you and your staff for your hard work and representing us as well.
Oh, yes.
Good
yes,
job, Danny.
Yes, everybody.
No need for a. All right. Any questions for the county attorney? All right. And with that, the work session is adjourned. We'll take about 10 minutes and we'll be back for the voting session. Thank you. She'll give it all to me here in a minute.